had no health care at all. They wanted to keep them alive. So they bred a monster. They bred a physical monster. They did that. When Nick the Greek said something about it, they was all mad at him. And I was saying, why are they mad at him? He's just telling the truth. We all say it, right? Remember in those days now, the Negro ran faster, jumped higher, and did everything. He was a petty Superman on all levels. Okay? Now as we're moving into these periods, right, dealing with things that we're not resistant to. We're not resistant to them, and it's taking a toll. It's taking a toll. So that was part of what we wanted to discuss tonight is the other night we had talked about our goal, our move right now, our hopes, dreams, and aspirations is to work with some of our people who have at least a possibility of a chance. That would mean the semi-educated, from junior college, BCUs, whatever they call them, all the way up. Because it's not that we're making a decision. The decision is already made. It's not that we're making a decision and saying, those people out there are not worth it. That's not what we're saying. We're saying it's a handful of us. We only, we can barely take care of ourselves, so we have to be focused. This is focus work in the beginning, and as we begin to recruit, we'll recruit some of those people to begin to look at their own people. For instance, if a person goes to college, either junior college, black university, or he is at least been able to avoid some of the traps. Usually they're going to be healthier. They have to have done some research and study or they wouldn't have the grades to even get in, right? So you almost have to target where there is in the beginning, where there's at least an opportunity, right? And that's the opportunity. Our people at colleges, universities, and it came to us when all this stuff about the Black Messiah, what do they call all that stuff? Right. Judas and the, okay. This is the 500th time that they're diverting us away from, right, from where we could be going or where we, let's say, should be going. And maybe we got bit by a hopeful bug that, the white folks saying, they lie all the time. But sometimes they tell a lie and you hope it's the truth. Not hope it's the truth, but, heroin addiction, black people, it's not happening to them anymore. And they showed all the places in West Virginia and all on the TV, right, for the last several years. Very few, they show Seattle, Washington, everywhere, but not around me and you. But we see it all the time. Shoot. When I'd go over to Baltimore, you can't go into a McDonald's without all that heroin paraphernalia, balloons and all that. And Baltimore is the only city I've seen people like almost touching the ground, they nodding so much. They have the old thing about the dope fiend, he can be so still that the ashes on the cigarette burn. That used to be, was that big here too? You could tell how, because see, you can't hold I have seen Negroes with a Pall Mall, that's a long cigarette, and the ashes have burnt all the way out. You know what I mean? That Negro is in, hey man. Hey man, it is unbelievable. Oh, it may sound funny, but that's true. I'm telling you, you can't find a standard Negro that can hold a cigarette, light a cigarette, and hold it to the ashes are 1 inch or even 2 inches. They could be this long almost. You ever seen the ashes on the cigarette? That's still, that means the nigga have, it ain't no wind blowing, and that Negro have not moved. He's okay. So I also want to mention our point. It's not bragging, but you could tell that since we were changing our focus to helping to rescue the European because he was in such deadly condition, that showed that we had a historical and a Quranic approach to this, that we wasn't, you know, called people to the way of Allah, you know what I mean? Work righteous deeds and say, I'm a Muslim. That's what we just, we've said it over and over again over there in Baltimore. In fact, that's the seat of all of this. The point is that that was only a short period, seemed like. And there's other points in this, is that white people get a hand up all the time. He's gonna get first, shot at, like they got insurance, they got all of that, not all of them. I done seen, even just on TV, it was a white man, it was in Iowa, a white man, the police, and the girl was pregnant, and the white police took them and got them some place to stay with his own money. It was his uniform on. They don't do that to Negroes. He was so overcome that his humanity came out. But his humanity is racially based, it's white folks based. I'm sure it was 1,000 Negroes around there, but he didn't have no compassion for a woman that was pregnant or, a dope fiend baby or anything like that. Or getting a dope fiend and a dope fiend woman a place to stay. Great, they're gonna go there and shoot up more dope. That's what they're gonna do. But he didn't think about it, he was just overcome with compassion, with human compassion. The other point is that when you deal with priorities, if we had zillions of dollars and zillions of people, our priorities could be humanity. But we're in a race with all of this fitna for our people. And we have to do whatever we can right away. Number one, the things that lead you to drugs, it's possible that we'll hit them before white people will anyway. All the people that think, I'm a slump in my grades, right? I run out of money for college, right? Broken home, broken family, all of that stuff. All those will hit us way ahead of white people. So, in this struggle to reawaken our people, what I'm saying is we've chosen the right target for what we're trying to do right now. Is imagine in many of our black colleges around big cities, anything could happen. You know, a wind could blow through there, and if it do, it's gonna blow away the best of what we have, technically. They might be brainwashed, they might be scattered, but they're the best we got right now, right? So technically, it's also a target that if we can, cause see, now, when we come to them with this awakening stuff, the things that we're pushing for them to avoid, they already know. It's common to, you know what I mean? Everybody knows what to burn you, what to knock you over, what to avoid, you know what I mean? If you want to get a little high, a little marijuana, it ain't gonna hurt you at all, maybe marijuana cookies and all of that, and a little bit of powder cocaine, but not crack, you know what I mean? And not crank, you know. So that's the points we wanted to make today. The other thing is the treatment always goes, it's just pitiful. Healthcare goes to certain people. It's a wonder we're still alive as a people. It's technically a miracle. With what the system have done against us and our health, see, if you go back 40, 50 years on back, there's a period when we were a healthier people than we are now. Well, we walked everywhere because we didn't have cars. That's the first thing. And then we boxed, we played basketball. How many playgrounds are active around here? They don't go to the playground. The people don't go. Where did you and I go? Always to the play. That's where we headed, to the playground with a baseball bat and a glove, or a basketball, bouncing it on the way to the play, right? That was for a couple of maybe even 3 generations, for sure. But we didn't need no health program down in the South picking cotton, and you was gonna walk all you needed to walk. You know, you didn't have to worry about exercise. Chopping cotton, picking cotton, all the work, you know, before this machinery, the stuff was serious work. Even the last 60 or 70 years in home building, remember, everybody used to have them little saws. You sawed everything. They didn't have these mechanical saws are all recently, let's say, 50, 60, okay, let's be fair, in the last 60 years. But before that, in the 50s, you sawed. If you was building a house, you had to saw everything, lift it up, hold it up. But anyway, this is also part of not a religious mission, but a religious, humane mission. And I think only a few people are thinking about it like that. I don't see our people even thinking about it in those terms. And the clock is ticking. Because everything, like the opiates that increased on the Negro, what about everything else? High blood pressure, anything you can name, even suicide. The Negro never would commit suicide. Now, okay. So, that's mainly the point that I wanted to make. If I wanted to make anything, it was that point. This is a period for us to recognize, you know, and everybody, I can see the youth as they're going through their college periods. Most of us are relatively safe, relatively, because people have usually by the time they become adult, and the young people around us, that don't mean there's no guarantee. You know, that don't mean there's no guarantee. So technically for all of us, we have to, I believe that it's part of our mission to, I want to back up a minute. I know the stuff we talk about, it seems like, you know, the dummy in the Quran that Allah offered the responsibility to everything in the universe, and then the human being, he took it. So sometimes I think about us like that. Tell the truth. Do we ever pick a kind of an easy job, or like, yeah, just middle of the road? No.